Howdy, 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 everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to the Laser Makers Realm. This is our Sunday live stream. I've got a major thunderstorm going on here with heavy rain and thunder and lightning. Hopefully, I'll be able to last the whole stream without the power going out. But if it does go out, Steve will still be here. So that's Steve, Hobo with wood.
And that's Patrick. Patrick, where's Patrick?
Looks like we're missing something. I wonder where Patrick went. Okay, so
so we're the Laser Makers Realm today.
Today we're the Laser Makers Realm, and actually Patrick is up in Michigan at a hatchet throwing convention. I guess you call it
axe throwing.
Axe throwing. Axe, yeah, okay.
They probably get upset if you call it an axe.
I get all these things wrong. I'm old. I get a break, So
but don't confuse the size of something. Men get upset when you do that. That's an axe.
Axe throwing, okay. Axe throwing contest, yeah. And he's going to be actually stepping in with us if he can. And sharing with us what he's doing up there. And the reason that he's there is laser engraving. So hopefully Patrick will pop in when he gets a chance and we can go from there. But today we are doing something that Steve designed. And by the way, this saved my butt yesterday. I hope my wife doesn't watch this, but she came in the office yesterday and she said, are you ready? And I said, ready for what? The gifts for the 2 birthday parties today. And it just completely slipped my mind. And all I could say was, yeah. So she turned around and walked out. And then I had just gotten an email from him over there talking about this little money holder. And here it is right here. So this is made out of 2 millimeter curly maple. I'll get that out. That's the back of it. I've got my brand way down in the bottom middle there. And what you do is, in this one I chose to put a stand on, and you could do this with or without a stand. So this just stands up on the table. And what you can do is just slide the money in through the side here. And what I did for the gifts that I made was I went on Facebook, on the 2 Facebook accounts, printed out their picture, and I just put their picture in the background with a little bit of, what do they call this? Stick glue?
Glue stick, yep.
Glue stick. I just glued the picture to the background and had the money in the foreground. So, and then I told them take the money out. And when they took the money out, there was the picture in the background. I got to tell you that it was a big hit. It was a very close friend's quinceañera, her 15th birthday. And she was like shocked when she saw it. People just love these handmade gifts. And then the second gift that I gave later in the evening was for my daughter-in-law's mother, her 72nd birthday. And she actually was examining. She started crying. She looked at it and said it's the most beautiful gift she's ever gotten. So these handmade projects, they can really be a lifesaver. And Steve, thank you so much for sending me that file, because I don't know what I would have done yesterday. I would have had to go into my files and find something that I can do quickly. This was a quick, easy project. Today, we're going to do it right back there on the Rollei Lasermatic 10. And by the way, they are fully stocked on Amazon now, and they still have the $100 coupon. So you can get an all-in-one precision machine for $899 on Amazon right now. That's
crazy price.
It is a crazy price. It's probably, with having all of the accessories included, including the enclosure, with the quality of the machine, you'd expect it to be around $1,400 minimum. Yeah, exactly.
I spent that on my first foolish laser, and
yeah,
this is a much better investment.
exactly. And we are going to be doing a Lasermatic, all Lasermatic video at some time in the near future. So we're going to have all three of us running different projects on the Lasermatic 10, and you'll get an idea. Well, you see it every week, every other week. I only do these live streams with the Lasermatic 10, and it does a fantastic job. And then, of course, I've got that library that I created with all of the materials, more materials than you've ever seen in any LightBurn library. In fact, it is the best LightBurn library on the market, and it comes with the Lasermatic 10. So let's not make this into a into a commercial. Today we're here talking about making this right here, and
Rich,
run the job.
Just in case people that are watching now are not aware, that was the free file download from on LaserMakers Realm this past week.
Yes.
So if you haven't checked out that channel, you can jump over there and download that file for free. It is just a base template with no design or artwork on it. Did it have the birthday cake on it?
Well,
because you've got the same.
I had several of them, so I chose the one that had no artwork. Only thing it had was the birthday cake and the happy birthday.
That's right. You also got them on Patreon. That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
But I think the LaserMakers Realm is strictly an empty base frame, so you can customize it in any way you want with any artwork you've already got in your art library, or it's real easy to do. I walk you through that in the LMR video. So it's
I'll walk them through it in mine today as well.
Okay.
So but I don't have the base file on this computer.
Yeah, and I don't have I didn't cut out one of the base files, but I did. This is not an original concept. It's not my idea. This design.
Nothing is our idea.
Yeah. But a friend of mine asked me to make one for her, and these are all over Facebook Marketplace and Etsy, and they're just a piece that just lays flat. And I'm like, that's lacking. I said, and plus, once you get it and you take money out, what are they going to do with this piece that just lays around on the table?
Exactly.
So that's why I decided it. And the file that I have on LMR for you to download has the optional base. And that's one thing that a few people are not realizing is the base, the bottom piece has two parts. It's the piece here with the slot in it. And then the small little insert that has a tab on it, you use one piece in the middle on the bottom there.
Yeah.
Not two pieces. So if you've downloaded it, make sure that you recognize that the oval with the slot and the tab is the optional base to allow it to stand up and be a picture frame.
Hey, if I can figure it out, anybody can.
So,
but I like the cover though. Mention the cover.
Oh yeah, and this is an option. I was like, okay, well, if it was going to be at a birthday party and they have a gift card table, you go over there and you sit down on the gift card table. Well, anybody walking by, all they see is that.
Yep.
All that is the waist cutout. Of course, it's the original waist, and I just glued a little button on it that lifts off, and now that exposes your dollar amount.
Excellent idea.
So that's just, and it's real simple. Just cut out a couple little circles and glue them on there.
Yep. Yeah. I like that idea. That's a good idea. I personally handed them to the recipients yesterday, but and the reaction was just unbelievable. I mean, it was an extreme reaction from both of them when they saw it. Anything personalized, anything handmade that you made specifically for somebody is going to be a treasured memento that they're going to keep forever. And they slide the money out and they have something to display on their shelf at home. I think this was a wonderful idea. Thank you so much, Steve, for that download. Saved my butt yesterday.
glad it came in handy. You never know.
Yeah. So let me show you my LightBurn file. Hang on one second. And this is going to be slightly different than Steve's. So it's not coming up here. Hang on. This software is kind of weird. There it is. All right. So here is the actual LightBurn file. that I modified. And all I did here was I got some accents from an accent file and I put them in here right where I thought would be a good spot. And I did an offset on the accent. And then I took the accent off, leaving just the offset there. And I subtracted one from the other and got the red outline. Then I put the graphic back into the middle of that outline. That's all I did there. Very, very simple process. And I talked to Steve last night, and he talked about making the cake more 3D looking. So I did that as well. And on this, all I did was select each one of these 2 layers, and I went to the 16-point deform right here. So that's under the 16-point deform. You can deform it, and I just brought this part down and moved this part over. And that was a great idea that Steve had last night.
And the menu doesn't show up, unfortunately, on that. Is it deform or transform? Because it don't show up on your screen here.
No, it's deform. Deform selection.
And deform selection. Okay.
Yeah, by 16 points.
Yeah.
And then you're able to do that. I don't know why the menu is not showing up. Anyhow, that's all I really did. And I put a couple of these on the back to make it look nice. And of course, you got to put your brand when you're giving something away. So that is the whole project. And all I do on this particular machine is no matter where I've got this, all I do is come up here to the top and click on the top left corner like that. Then I hold my control key, and with my right arrow key, I go 1, 2, 3 millimeters out, 1, 2, 3 millimeters down, and I know that that is perfectly positioned. There's no framing necessary now, and I can just run the job. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to stop sharing the library. I forgot to talk about the library. So,
and before you take that off, show those pieces I was talking about which ones you don't need or do need.
Oh, okay. So down here, this is the base right here.
If you're going to do the optional base, yep.
If you're going to do the base, and this piece here is the one that fits into the base.
It's got a small little tab on it.
Right. And
so
then
those would be for the bottom.
Right. And then these 2 over here are the spacers that go bottom and top.
No, you only need one of them.
Oh, well, the way I did it, I needed 2. So I did mine slightly different than yours. So I wound up adding another spacer.
Yeah, I'm lazy. That's just another piece that blew up. Yeah,
you won't get the extra ones in your template. So basically, yeah. So if you're just going to put one on the top here, because the bottom one is going to be mounted to this piece over here.
Yeah.
So that's a waste of wood. But I wanted to let me stop sharing this for a minute and show you something different. I wanted to make this one here a little thicker. That's why I added those extra pieces, because I am using this curly maple to cut mine out. So I don't know if you can see it. It's a real pretty wood.
There, now you can see it.
Yeah.
So that looks good.
I'm using this curly maple, and it's only 2 millimeters thick. This is a veneer. And I bought these veneers on Okuch hardwoods, and they're really, really nice for doing small projects like this. And it gives this project such a light weight that I think it's like the perfect wood to use as a veneer to run this project. And plus, it's fast. So if I were to look at my LightBurn, I can tell you the settings I used on my 10 watt. Under curly maple, I've got the 1.8 millimeter veneer. It's 500 millimeters per minute, 100% power. And on the engraving, I did 6,000 millimeters per minute, 75% power. I added an extra tab and duplicated the first one at 6,000 millimeters per minute, 75% power in line mode. So that is the line after fill. So, LightBurn version 1.4 doesn't have line after fill anymore, but you can add those sub layers and I really love the sub layers because you can add as many as you want, and you can have those sub layers do all types of different things, cleaning passes, you know, you can shade different colors of the engravings, you know, put them into groups and things like that. But
most important, I think, is the line after fill, that cleaning up, that outline.
yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I am going to move the camera now, and Steve is going to take over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over onto the Rolly, and I'm going to show you this start to finish. So I will turn on the machine, let it do its homing thing. And there is one trick that I wanted to show you before I turn this over to Steve. And this curly maple is extremely warped because of all of the rain that we've been getting. So as you can see, it's got a really, really bad warp to it.
That's got worse since we started.
It has. Yes, it has. So what I'm going to need to do is hold this down with magnets, and I'm going to just pick this up. I'm going to move the laser head out of the way in LightBurn really quick. So I'll click the map icon, and then I'll click up in a corner to get it out of the way.
That's one downside of working with hardwood.
Yeah, with veneers especially.
Yeah, you don't see that much of an issue with real thin plywood.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's sticking up a ½ inch over here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just put one on each corner. That's another good thing about the Rolly, is that it has a metal honeycomb. Get this right into the corner. I'll put one on each corner, and hopefully that will suffice. And I'm going to leave the door open because, excuse me, I'm going to leave this door open because when I run this job, I want you to be able to see it better on the camera, and I have disabled the safety features there. So one of the things I'm going to do that you can't see off screen is I'm just going to move this to a different position to get it away from the magnets. And hopefully that looks like it should be the right spot. I'm going to give it a shot with some framing. I'm not looking at the numbers. That should be perfect right there. And it is.
That'll work.
And I'm just going to run this job. So again, I've got my cuts and layers set. I'm not going to refocus for the cut. I'm just going to, I forgot to turn on my air extraction and air assist. So with both of those on, I can now start this job and we can get back to the video. Okay, Steve, it's all you.
Well, I'm going to, I made all of mine out of the 16th inch thin basswood. So that was one headache that I didn't have to contend with, was all the warping. But once you glue it up, it's all gone anyway.
Right.
Yeah. And the basswood, if you put a small lacquer coat, very light, it can have a nice shine and a decent look to it as well. Yeah. But why this is running, I figure right now it'd be as good a time as any just to see who's here and what kind of questions, what we've got going on since we've started here. We got a lot of our regulars, Army Dogs, Dave, Carl. Guys, appreciate you always chiming in. Sharon Simonson. And I think Sharon's the one that always wins. I think we might have to consider telling Sharon she's not able to get in because she wins like every week, I think.
Yeah. Oh, wait, quickly. We are going to hang in there because for those viewers that are here at the end of the video, we're going to be giving away 3 of these flat packs. So already done, already assembled. And actually, I don't know if I'm going to assemble them. I think I will. Done, assembled, and put in the mail. The only thing you'll have to do is just slip it into the base and glue it in the base. That's it.
And these will be just a generic happy birthday?
Yeah. The one that you just saw that I put up on the screen that says, you know, happy birthday. That one right there.
Yep. And I do like those accents. I'm going to steal that idea. I put on mine, I put the date of birth, or not the date of birth, but the age. This is her 21st birthday, so it's got, her name and the
Yep.
But your accents look really classy. So
thank you, sir.
So Chicago Bob, V Rich, we got a bunch of regulars here. Appreciate everybody that's attending. Oh, and I'm just going to change the banner there. We've updated the donations for Laser Makers Realm and added a few for people who just don't like PayPal. PayPal is the more logical and actually probably one of the more secure options, but if people don't want to use it, they got Zelle, they got Venmo, we got CashApp, all of that information scrolling there across the bottom of the screen. All right, now let's see. I've seen some questions and some comments.
Let me pop one up real quick from Dave Fisher.
That's where I was just at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's asking where are the replays stored. If you go to the Laser Makers Realm main YouTube channel, youtube.com/@lasermakersrealm, you'll see something there. You'll see something called videos. So if you click on videos, the replays are uploaded within a couple of hours after the live, and you'll be able to watch the replay there. Or you could always click on the live tab and rewatch the whole live, because it'll be listed there as well, Dave.
And while we were talking about the whereabouts of Senior Patrick, Chicago Bob, but we'll have to ask him how things went.
Ask him.
So he's supposed to be coming aboard sometime soon here, we hope, and see how he's doing.
Hey, Carl. Glad to see you here.
Let's see here. We got somebody from Bob from Poland. What time is it there, Bob? I won't see it for another 15 minutes till I scroll down there, but I'm still learning all these time zones.
And Mike, I see you're in there. Stumbling, bumbling idiot. Love that handle. I replied to your private message, Mike. Go take a look at the private messages on the forum about that camera post that you put up.
And we got here, this is a good opportunity to just show this and talk about it for a brief second. ET-LC says, hey, Hobo, just letting you know I made a napkin holder from your template, and I'm looking to make one with interchangeable tops for every holiday. Now, that is a cool idea. And what he is referring to on my website, hobowithwood.com, which is there underneath my name, I have...
And this is what this channel is all about, being creative.
I created a napkin holder. Now, this one is my football theme.
I love that one.
And if you see, this one was made for a family member who is a huge Dolphins fan, Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins sits here on the top, but there's a bead there so that napkins can just roll out without being caught up. They just roll on the bead.
I think I had a little input on that one too.
All right. Yep. Yes. Yep. But this is the football theme, and then I've got another design.
I actually watched this thing go from an idea to
concept. Yeah.
The final product.
This is if you're not a football fan, just a basic design. Still same concept. You load your napkins in there, and the roller lets them roll in and out of there.
I love that bead idea. It's just genius.
Yeah, you would, because it was your idea. But what ET-LC is talking about is he's going to make some interchangeable pieces to go up here so it works for every holiday.
Right.
Maybe embedding a magnet there with a little magnetic piece that just pop on and off. Man, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But both of those designs are on hobowithwood.com.
That is a good idea, putting the magnet on there.
Yep. And so ET, if you hadn't thought about the magnet option, there you go. But I love your idea of the interchangeable tops. That's another thing for me to create and put on Hobo and sell.
Yeah. So Carl is saying $8.99 is a deal. I paid $9.99 when it first came out. Yeah. I don't know why they're still the prices on some machines have gone down, so they're not. Rolly is not wanting to do a price increase, although originally, it was meant to be a $1,200 machine,
and it is.
Yeah, and it is.
It's more than that.
Yes, and it was just during the launch that it was supposed to be a $9.99 with a coupon for $8.99. But I'm telling you that this machine is worth every penny of what you pay and more because of the precision and consistency. I don't waste any material using this laser, and that's what I appreciate about it the most. And right, Andy says comes with all the accessories.
No.
Exactly.
And Andy says he paid $1,600 plus for his other laser.
For the one we don't.
Yeah, that I don't mention.
Yeah.
And to get all of the accessories that come with the Rolly, he had to pay over $1,600 to get it.
Yeah.
So to get this for $9.99 is a steal. $8.99 is insane.
And in July, the newer version is coming out with the pass-through and the stronger fan and just a whole lot of new improvement, better stepper motors, new control board, solid load-bearing frame, and so many new improvements that I can't even mention them all because a couple of them are still in R&D, but with a 20-watt version. And Leo understands that we love our 10 watts because of the engraving ability. So it will have a switch on the side to turn off 2 of those diodes. And you'll have the choice of using 10 watt for your engraving, throwing a switch, and using 20 watt for your cutting.
So would you call that a hybrid? It's a 10 and a 20?
Yeah.
That's that. I don't think I've ever seen that in the market yet.
There is one other machine on the market that has that. Well, I'm not sure if it's actually on the market yet, but it was a company that sent me an email talking about their new switchable 10 and 20 watt. But
right.
And then if you keep your eyes open long enough, by the end of the summer, you're going to see the 40 watt. And who knows where this is going to go? This could go as far as 80 watts. And, with the new stepper motors, it's going to have a new speed that it'll be able to keep up with. And of course, you got the linear rail, so you don't have to worry about the speed. And it's just, the company is just doing a fantastic job with their R&D. So look for the new version, I believe July 1st.
All right, here's another question or comment from ET again. What types of glues is best and fastest to dry when gluing these templates? Now, you and I are going to have different opinions about this. And
I don't think so.
Because I just watched you assemble that one. And I also heard your complaints about assembling that one.
Well, and that's because I had to do it fast.
Yeah, but
we had 8 minutes before the stream, so I took out the CA glue. But typically I would use the tight bond.
Well, and the tight bond go, yeah. But you said, what was the one thing you had to do sometime with
trim off the edge?
Yeah, to trim the edge. Because it will set so fast.
Yeah.
So what I use, I do have some CA glues, but when I'm doing these small little crafts, and especially these little pieces that positioning is crucial.
Yeah.
I just use Aleene's tacky glue.
Yeah.
This stuff sets up pretty quick. Yeah. But you can slide the pieces around and position them where you need them and just hold them there for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it stays.
Yeah, wood glue is pretty much the same. I mean, you slide it around, get it in position. The only difference is that that's a quick drying, like as compared to like the tight bond. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes before you can handle it, and 24 hours before it's fully set. But after 10 or 15 minutes, you can handle it. And with the tight bond on something like this, I would assemble the whole thing and then put the clamps on, make sure everything's in the right position. And then 15, 20 minutes later, it's done. It's ready. Yeah, it's ready to start waxing.
Yeah, I use that. And if you, now the key too is about your glues. Don't over glue. Don't use too much glue, be it tight bond or craft glue, whatever, because too much glue is going to do a lot of things. All that glue is going to cause your woods to they want to swell a little bit, but it's going to also take longer for it to set up. You don't want to use excessive. You want to use just the right touch.
And most of it's going to wind up on your cleaning rig anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. And the less you use, the less squeeze out you got, the less cleanup you got to do.
Yep.
So proper application is as crucial as what glue.
I don't think I can. Maybe I can show you. I have let me see. I have precision bottles that I use that puts just the tiniest amount of glue.
Now, is that for your type bond? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you see the little cap?
Yeah.
It's a needle.
Yep. The what do they call it? Hypodermic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a mixture of tight bond and CA glue. This one here. So this one sets up in a less than 45, 50 seconds. You have time to move it.
That's nice.
Yeah, and the tiny little needle end right there makes it easy to put the tiniest of beads right down the center, and it just makes life easy.
That's like I like my Type Bond. I got my Type Bond 3 there.
Yep.
But that Type Bond 3, I mean, it's like water.
Yeah.
And that's why, and that's a big bottle, and it's not as easy to apply as what you just showed. So I like that idea. I'm gonna steal that one too. That's why I like when I'm doing little pieces, I like this little bitty bottle of tacky glue.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember that if you steal that idea, it's not like with most glues where you leave the cap off for 45 seconds and all the glue goes back down.
Yeah.
It won't do that with the needle version. So you have to have like a needle, a sewing needle.
Yeah.
And after you're done, let it sit for a couple of minutes and then stick the sewing needle in to keep that needle clear.
All right.
So there is a second step with that.
So Carl asked about any mods to the rolling. I think you've pretty much addressed those already about upcoming 20 watts and stuff. So Carl, if you still have any questions about the rolling, please put them out there. But I think he addressed that.
Or you can email me, Carl's got my email address.
Let's see.
Dave is saying, let me put this one up real quick.
Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one I was just looking at.
Yeah, he got his second rolly ordered. He missed out on the one with the enclosure last time. Oh, okay. Very expensive. Yeah. It is. Getting anything to Australia or Canada or even some parts of Europe can be extremely expensive.
All righty. Let's see.
And V is saying, I use E6000 glue for projects.
I use that for my jewelry.
Yeah, I've had that before. And somebody just popped in down below. Let's bring in our guest. Hey, Patrick, we were talking about you just a little while ago.
Oh, good. Hopefully good things. Maybe, possibly.
So Patrick is at the AXE convention, axing people questions.
Yes, I am at the Bearded Axe in Saginaw, Michigan. They just had a World Axe Throwing League and World Knife Throwing League tournament. Started Friday, went through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and wrapped up here just a little bit ago. But I've had the laser running pretty much nonstop all weekend.
Yeah, V is saying he thought you were axed.
Oh man!
When you weren't here, he thought you were axed.
Man, I want to see some more puns. Keep them going.
Well, they thought we'd asked you how things were going up there.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's still some people hanging around, but I've been here. My little corner, they even put up a nice banner for me.
Wow, that's nice.
For Light Source Engraving. And
let's see the products that you've been making for people.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. I've got tons of blanks there on the table. Just all kinds of stuff.
Okay. But you were specifically doing some memento coins, weren't you?
Yes, I did do memento coins. I have one of them right here in front of me. If I can get it out of the case.
Oh, Patrick.
Yes.
Leo did approve the Rolly only live stream. So we will be doing that one soon.
Oh, very awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Focus.
Oh
yeah.
My gosh. That is just beautiful.
Head judge.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be more puns, but we ain't going to go.
The name of the tournament is called Ragnarok.
Uh-huh.
So for the judges' coins, you can see there's the scales of justice on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside the double-headed axe, it does say Ragnarok.
That's awesome.
And that's also a replication of the axe heads, and the inside is from Scottish lore or Viking lore of Thorwald's cross.
Yeah.
Replica of that relic, the
Very
stone.
Cool.
So
Very
that
cool.
was all my designs.
Awesome.
All that there.
Very nice.
So we are going to get together soon, hopefully next week, and you're going to teach me how to do the PMAG, right, on my fiber?
Yes, sir. Let me see if I can get this to focus. This is an aluminum, one of the coins from Bowie, Swiss, but aluminum judge coin.
I see that judge on top. Yeah.
This one hasn't been polished, ran through the tumbler yet. It's just raw, but that's how it looks when it comes right off the laser.
Nice.
Yeah. So Patrick's got a jewelry tumbler that he puts these things in, and he puts the cleaning beads in there with it and tumbles them for, I don't know, an hour or two, and they come out absolutely gorgeous.
It really doesn't even take that long. I try to do most of the prep work on the laser, and then about 20 minutes in the tumbler, and they're good to go. Some of them I don't even tumble.
So tell us, tell everybody what laser that you're using there today.
This is the NOAA Laser Smart 2. It has the taller tower and the larger bed size. And right now I have a 300 millimeter lens on it. I was doing some tumblers. So I was actually able to take this fiber laser with me and etch some tumblers right here on the spot. And it has an 80 watt JPT source in it.
Nice. Very nice. So what else is going on there at the, besides axe throwing? They have any after parties or anything like that?
They had one last night at G's Pizza. It was a all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. That was really good.
That sounds like fun. Is this a regular event?
Yes, they have this every year at this particular venue.
And this is a business, so you could go there anytime if you wanted to throw some axes, right?
Yeah. Yep. Whenever they're open. I think it's in the evenings from 6 to 10 or 11, something like that.
Yeah.
We've got a place like that local, and scary for me is they mix that with alcohol.
You can. They don't serve alcohol here, but you can bring your own. So they just keep it BYOB.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was neat for the World Axe Throwing League. I think probably 15 of the top 20 throwers as far as 2023 rankings were here. So that was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like fun.
Well, Rich, I asked Bob what time it was there in Poland, and I've got down to his comments. So it's about 9:40 p.m. out there now. So
wow,
that's good that he's there. And then Dave, who was talking about the price of the Rolly, he's in Australia, says it's pushing 5:40 a.m. Monday morning. He set his alarm clock just to get up to watch us before he goes to work.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
And
I appreciate it.
You clicked on there. Who's had the birthday? Sedona Fred had a birthday. So happy birthday, Sedona Fred. Probably that infinite 29 years old is where I'm hovering. I've been hovering there for a while now. Can't you tell? 29.
So Bob is saying that Atezr is offering deals on their new Series L2 lasers with $500 off if you put 100 down. Yeah, that's a new form of marketing where a laser isn't ready to hit the market and they're trying to fund it. And I would recommend an Atezr, but it just doesn't have the precision of the Rolly.
I don't know if anybody saw my personal axe, but this is it.
I recognize the bridge.
Yep. So the idea behind this axe was my wife's. It was her concept. So I put this together, but this side is her original artwork that I traced and then put on the axe. We have the West Virginia mountain scene with the bear. And then I know a guy in Tennessee who makes handles, and he did this custom handle for me
I like that handle. That's pretty.
with a blue and gold type theme for West Virginia.
And I do have a video coming up on inlaying metal into wood. So that's something that you're not going to want to miss. And that's something that you can do and replicate what Patrick's got going on right there. I'm not going to give out any more details on it, but I think you're going to love the idea. Where do we get the bottles? Not sure what that means. Oh, the little bottles.
Yeah, they're syringe bottles.
Oh, okay. I will put a link to those bottles under the replay so that you can order those. I don't have a link to it right now. In fact, let me see. Maybe I can really quickly, because I bought those on Amazon. So let me see if I can really quickly find them and drop a link in the chat.
And while you're looking for that, Chicago Bob is asking, how often do you clean your lens? I'm guessing that's for you there, Patrick.
I haven't cleaned these lenses since I got this fiber laser. So not very often.
Okay.
On my lasers, my regular lasers, I clean them pretty much at the end of every day. But that's completely up to you. Most people do it every week. The new Creality Falcon 2 has a little sensor on there that lights up when it's time to clean it. Pretty much once a week. If you stay in there, you'll be okay. I'm going to drop that link into the chat for those bottles, and that way you can go get those on Amazon. Just make sure that you have some sewing needles, because it does have to be cleaned after every use.
And wow, I knew things. Anytime you got to ship something to an island, it's always expensive. And Australia is a continent, but it's essentially a big island. I didn't realize just how expensive it was, but check that out.
What's that for?
That's the price he was having to pay for the rolling.
Yeah, but the exchange rate brings that price down in dollars. So.
Is it half?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'll take a look and see.
I saw it a couple weeks ago. I can't remember what it is now.
I think it's about half, $0.66. So
still $1,300 or give or take.
I think it's $1,700 US.
$1,700.
Yeah.
Still, that's twice. That's twice the price. Or almost. Ian, I didn't realize Ian's in New Zealand.
Yeah.
7:30 in New Zealand in the morning. How do I like my monport? I love the speed of the CO2. And I have been as happy with that laser as I have any laser, or more happy with that laser than most lasers. But I really like my comgrow. It's not failed me yet. But when it comes,
by the way, I just got the new comgrow, the completely redesigned frame and 20 watt. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's good. But the monport, I love when it comes to doing any cutting. I go to that CO2 first, because I don't want to wait for this 10 watt laser to cut through anything. In fact, I got these yesterday as a gag. I didn't know how they would work, but these are actually cedar planks for grilling. You soak them in water and throw your fish on there and toss them on the grill. But these I got really, really inexpensive, and I said, you know what? They might be decent sign planks.
Yeah.
And this is 1/4 inch cedar, solid cedar, and the monport CO2 cut through it in one pass at 65% power, and I think it was at 3 millimeters a second or 180 millimeters a minute at 65% power. I don't know that the diode would have cut through this without.
Oh yeah, I've cut that.
But with multiple passes. You ain't gonna do it in one pass.
Yeah, I can do it in one pass.
All right, I'll be right back.
Thanks for warning.
But
I'm
yeah,
not.
I have to go really, really slow to do it in one pass.
Yeah, and does that not create a lot of burning?
It does. Usually you're going to want to sand those edges for sure.
Yeah.
I typically use, first I'll clean it with cleaning vinegar, and then I'll sand it off. But I don't cut, items that are that big. I just did it during the testing of the machine. So I know that it will cut that easily.
But back to the original question, I do enjoy my monport, but the reason you haven't seen me push much about my monport is my monport code to help you save money is only 6%. And at any given time, you can get 8% off on monport or 10%
Any
off
holiday.
on monport.
Yeah.
So there's no reason, no incentive for me to continue to tell you how great this is. But yeah, and coming up Father's Day, I'll bet you if you're considering a monport, come Father's Day, you'll probably see 10% off on their website.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you're on the fence, that might be the time to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. So another thing you want to consider when people are talking about CO2s is when you're buying a 50 watt, you're not getting 50 watts. Okay. What you're getting is 70% of 50 watts. So you really have 35 watts of cutting power. So don't think that you're going to be doing a lot of projects at ultimate speed like Patrick does with the with the special stepper motors in his machine. That's an upscale machine. It's got hybrid stepper motors and can run the heck out of a laser. These are bottom of the line Chinese lasers. So you got to keep that in mind, and you're only going to get 35 watts out of a 50 watt machine.
You get what you pay for.
Exactly.
I was negotiating a signed deal I was hoping I was going to get, and if I did, I was looking at buying 2 CO2 lasers, and they were going to be like $12,000 to $13,000 a piece.
Yep. Real quick, look at the warp on that board.
Oh wow! Wow. So you with anything, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And if you go into it with that mindset, then you're not going to be disappointed when there's an issue or two.
Yeah.
You didn't spend $13,000 for it, so don't expect a $13,000 piece of machine.
Yeah.
That's why I really don't understand the mindset of Rolly keeping the price so low, because that is a superior product.
Yeah. So when in late summer, when these 40 watts, and I know Xtool has got one out already, the 40 watt diode. When these 40 watt diodes come out, they're going to be the equivalent of like a 70, 80 watt CO2, except for the fact that there are certain things you can't do, like clear acrylic and so on. But other than that, and they'll be a little faster. But the new Rolly is going to have different stepper motors, and it's going to have a new control board, and it's going to have a much higher speed. So if you're thinking about stepping up to a CO2, you might want to see where the diode world goes first by the end of the summer. So now you can see that I am on my last layer here, and it is cutting it out. This is about a 30-minute project on this machine. And just a quick review, that cut is now at 500 millimeters a minute and 100% power on this 2 millimeter curly maple cut sheet.
So stumbling, bumbling idiot. Going with the lens cleaning aspect, I took my cover off to put the air assist on that doesn't have a protection lens in it. How often should I take it apart and clean it?
Every day.
And it depends on your use. I mean, if you didn't use it today, you don't need to clean it today.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But the more you use it, the more it needs to be cleaned.
Yeah. I like this question. Yes. So it's not really the burning that you're worried about. It's the cleaning. So I'm going to show you in a minute what I do at the end of the burn. And yeah, on thick cuts, you will have some burning. But if you have your settings right, you're never going to have burning. The edges should be perfectly clean at the end of the job. And all you have to do is brush off the piece with a brush before you touch it with your fingers. Once you've touched it with your fingers, you now apply the oil from your skin to the wood and smear the dust and debris into the wood. So you don't want to do that. Only handle it by the edges. Use a little broom. I'm going to show you in a second to get it all cleaned off, and you won't have to worry about sanding at all.
Let's see here. So while you were away, Patrick, you asked for a few puns, and so ETLC got an axe to grind.
Awesome.
Stumbling, bumbling idiot gets my axe. So you got a few of your request answered there.
Okay, awesome.
I'm sure you got people there saying, kiss my axe.
Yep. One of the popular shirts with for the knife throwers is just the tip.
Yeah. Patrick, do you see that warping going on there?
Yes, I do.
All right. I don't know if you or Patrick have done much with the clear acrylic, but Stumbling Bumbling Idiot just did an etching on clear acrylic with cold galvanizing compound.
Yeah.
It's on the forum, so I can brag how nice I think it looks.
Does it have zinc in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the cold galvanizing compound because it'll ruin your machine.
I never used the cold galvanizing compound to do zinc. The process that I used was taking the metal protective piece that goes underneath my honeycomb board and actually painting that with a sandable automotive primer, a gray primer. Just paint that with gray primer, place the clear acrylic directly
right on
it,
top of it. Yep.
and then focus. I call it sub-focus. What do you call it? Anti-focus when you But I focused down onto the almost to the depth of the metal and engrave on there. And then when I take it off there, it's just a little soap and water wipes right off. That cold galvanizing compound, that's a pain in the butt to clean up.
And it makes some nasty fumes too, so you got to be careful. So here is the top layer here, and I'm not going to touch any of the engraving. I'm just going to take my broom and sweep off all of the dust. And a lot of
haven't
people,
got to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
A lot of people call this dust overburn, and it's not. So it's just dust and debris. So if
you're burning wood, the ash has to go somewhere. So
exactly. One of the things
I haven't got a chance to make one of those yet. I'm jealous.
Yeah. So here is, you can see there is no overburn whatsoever, none. So there's the final product. There's the edge. It's nice and clean. And I'll get the other pieces and start assembling this and show you as I go how this comes out. So really, really nice, nice project. And I am going to use the CA glue, even though I don't like using it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you guys something about the setup I have here. I have and this is mine. This is Brad's, who's the venue owner and hosts the tournament. And I've been teaching him fiber laser techniques for the last, I don't know, almost a year probably. This is a comgrow enclosure, and it's doing well, but decided to have this little, he bought this little comgrow air cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, just looking at it, like, there's no way that thing's going to work. It's too small. But dang it, if I didn't run metal business cards and some tumblers and other stinky stuff, and it did well enough to clean it out, and the fumes didn't penetrate the whole building. I was actually impressed.
I didn't have good results with that. I have one right here under the bench.
It might be a specific use case.
Well, you're using a fiber laser, so I don't think you're creating the same amount of smoke and debris as we'd be using, as we'd be creating.
Yeah, with wood might be another story, but just the smoke from the burning the paint, the powder coat. Nice.
So that's the back. This part you've already seen is the front. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble the base, which are these two pieces right here. This one fits into the slot, and again, I think the template comes in a couple different designs. If you're not using the base, then it's very simple. You have these two pieces here, and just get them set up right. Make sure that you have them in the right orientation, and all you do is put a spacer here, and you put a spacer here. And then when you put this all together, you've got all of your pieces together, and you can slide your money in the side. I'm doing it a little differently by putting the base on, and I like it better that way because when I'm done, I will take a photograph and put it on the inside of the back piece here that I print online, and I will use my little glue stick, glue it to this. That way they can replace it if they want to. You know, it'll come right off. And they can put their own picture if they wanted to, and then slide the money in on top. Patrick, I know you didn't see it. This is the final product right here.
Oh, that looks nice.
And all you do is just slide the money out the side, and it reveals a picture behind it.
Here's the filter out of that little air cleaner unit. That's just the pre-filter.
Yeah.
It was white.
Mm-hmm.
So it did the job.
Well, you guys go ahead while I do the first assembly here.
All right. So back to Dave. Dave's chiming in a lot. Appreciate your contributions to the live stream, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
He's says if you're talking to Leo, you might suggest a depth gauge be made in a bright contrast color instead of the same color as the machine. He's always replacing his as often on the rail. Well,
that's a great suggestion.
Yeah, but what I do, Dave, is on my machine that's across the room, I've got a small little magnet glued to one side of that gauge, and everything in its place, everything has a place, everything in its place. A little magnet pops right there. Now, I know the frame of that rollie is all aluminum? Is
yes.
That right?
Yes,
well, the screws are not. Those screws on the face of the rollie, if you had a little magnet on there, you could probably just magnetize it right to the screw right there where it says rollie on the face of the machine.
Yeah, the screws are all stainless.
So you got a place that you could put a magnetic, gauge right there on the face of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And ET's also a regular contributor here today. Hi, Rich. I also took your Christmas envelope card holder idea and made a card holder for giving to a young man from our church that is going to be going to preaching school. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, that's really awesome. That's the reason I supplied this file in Lasermaker's Realm as a complete blank template. Because your imagination, can take you anywhere with these things.
Well, keep in mind that Christmas card file wasn't actually a Christmas card. It was a gift card file originally to begin with, and I revamped it to do the Christmas card. So you got the same, brilliant minds think the same, I guess.
Here's that little knife that I did.
That looks dangerous.
Let's see. Might focus. It might not.
Hang on one second, Patrick.
Yeah, that's all right.
Put you up in a minute. But I am so far I have done. Okay, go ahead.
This isn't my usual camera, obviously.
Yeah.
It's probably reflecting on the blade. Had to guess.
Yeah, it's not wanting to focus on the hand.
Anyway, it's scroll work.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost in focus there for a second.
Just barely, just for a second.
Let's see if it'll focus on stitch. That's some different shade blues and whatever on stainless.
You were able to get those blues from the laser.
Yep.
That's awesome.
There's a little credit card multi-tool. Nice and shiny.
Very nice. Let me just jump back to where I'm at in this assembly. So here you can see I've glued a piece to the top and to the bottom. And actually this back piece is glued to the tab that was sticking up. So we have these two risers that are in here. And the next step and the final step is just to glue this piece onto the front. And I'm going to do that right now.
So Stumbling Bumbling is still talking about the cleaning. He's I was asking because the lens inside the whole assembly I was asking because the lens is inside the whole assembly, so unless I use a Q-tip, I can't get to it without taking the laser itself apart.
If I ever have to use a Q-tip, I wrap it in a microfiber cloth. I don't use the Q-tip itself. I hope that answers. I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Hope I got the question right.
And I think Wendy's already put it in the comments, and a few others about, liking and sharing this would be greatly appreciated. As many of you that would appreciate it.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here.
Gary Lynn's asking, where do you get that hardwood you showed? Where did you get your curly maple veneer? Do you remember?
Okuch Hardwoods.
Okuch.
Yep.
And that's OOC. I've got it right. Yep. Yeah. OC. No, it's just one O. OCOOCH.
Yes, sir.
Okuch Hardwoods.
And that's just how quickly we've got this done. Let me just make the screen a little bigger here.
Hey, a cool thing about Okuch Hardwoods, they have their blem / extras in packs. I think they're only like $20 in their cutoffs.
Yeah,
but you still get the same quality stuff, and some of it, might have to cut around some bad pieces or whatnot. But for the price
or something like that.
Yeah, for the price though, you can't beat it, especially for some testing materials. And then they also have that with their exotics too, so you can get some neat wood for cheap.
Absolutely. So there you go. There is the final product. I want you to notice that the warp is gone because of the layers. So the warp is completely gone. Let's see there we go. And this is the final product done live right here on the show. No mistakes, thank goodness. And the only other thing that I'm going to do to this right now is I'm going to finish it with beeswax to make the dollar bill slide easier, even though it slides just fine, just the way it is. The beeswax brings out the look of the curly maple and makes it look really, really nice. So the final project will shimmer and shine and change color as you turn it. Now this one doesn't have the beeswax yet, but just the curly maple itself
nice
has a shimmer to it, and that wax really brings it out. You can use beeswax, you can use walrus oil, you can use anything you want. So now these are going to go out, and I'm going to say fully assembled. What do you think, Steve? Yeah, I'm going to send these out just like you see here.
Can you send me one with Ben Franklin? Please.
They will not. They will not come loaded.
He said fully assembled, not loaded. Yes.
I just assumed that meant fully assembled. That it had stuff inside.
So I'm gonna do 3 of these after the stream. Here's one of them right here. And if you want this, and you're here at the end of the stream, we're gonna do a giveaway, and give away 3 of them. And Patrick, I think we'll save that PMEG that we forgot about for our live stream that we do together. What do you think?
I think that sounds great.
Yeah. And I will also put a link to Steve's file under the replay and also under the live for those of you that came in late, or for those of you that come back and watch later. Right now, we've only got 48 people online, so your chances of winning are pretty high.
Yep. Jack in the shop is finally here. I don't know if you were here the whole time, but you've been silent today, Jack. Hey, Jack. And he chimed in about the anti-focus, defocus. What are your 2 terms you use, Rich?
I use I use anti-focus, which is lowering the laser to cut by half the thickness of the material, and I use defocus. It means, for me anyway, not for everybody,
Right.
it means to raise the laser up.
So he uses anti-focus and defocus.
Yeah, those are the two that I use.
And the
For
way
me-
my brain works, I use pre-focus and sub-focus.
Yeah, whatever terms you want.
Yeah, well, it's that,
I use defocus up and defocus down when we're referring to the fiber laser. So defocus up is raising the head up, and defocus down is putting it down below the surface.
they're both.
Patrick is right. It's technically defocusing.
Yeah,
in both
yeah.
directions.
So it just.
I'm always right. Just so you know.
and because I'm lazy, so you're having to say an extra word, up or down. That's why I use pre is before and sub is below.
Yeah, in general, I hate words too, so that makes sense.
Okay, so we are. Where's my timer?
1 minute.
We've got about 25 minutes left in the stream, and we're just going to talk about what we've done, I guess, in the past week or so. I don't know if you've seen my my rubber stamp video, but Patrick inspired me. Patrick down there inspired me to do some testing on rubber stamps, and so I bought the material that he recommended, and I ran the job, and I ran into a problem that I can't quite figure out. I guess there could be a couple reasons why I had this problem, but the diode laser will not cut any deeper than about 1.8 millimeters in rubber. And it could be because of the debris, even though I had the air assist on. It just could be because it's not seeing in there. It might be cutting a sharper line. I don't know what the reason is, but it will not cut no matter what speed and power that I use. I even threw it onto the 24-watt diode, and it did the same exact thing. So what I wound up learning was to cut rubber, you just take, if you have, let's say let's say you have a circle, you want to cut out a circle in the rubber, all you do is offset it by 0.5 millimeters and put that into fill and run that in the offset fill, and it'll make its couple of passes and cuts right through it like butter.
Yep. That's what I was going to suggest, because on the Galvo, I run a wobble. So when it's wobble, it's not running a straight line. It's running just little circles around that whole line. So it's cutting out a wider swath of the material.
Exactly. So that's what I had to wind up doing for cutting. But I can tell you that this 10-watt did a superb job on the rubber. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this, but there is the rubber that Patrick recommended right there, and it's cut all the way through to the base. I did a little bit of testing. This rubber comes with 2 layers. There's a very like thin 1 millimeter base layer, and then on top of that there's a second layer that's, I believe, 2.5 millimeters thick, something like that. So, and I made a discovery too, is that wood stamps come out better than rubber stamps when you're printing on the paper. So, you know, who'd have thunk it? And then, of course, people making all kinds of comments on the channel about, well, yeah, because wood stamps have been around for 3,000 years. You know, well, I never did. You know, when something is called a rubber stamp, well, I don't even think of any other alternative. But I happened to answer a phone call and hit my microphone on the way to answer the call while I was designing the rubber stamp, and on my microphone mounted is one of my wood business coins and my business card coins. And I said, oh my gosh, that looks exactly like a rubber stamp. I'm going to try that. So if you haven't seen that one's on the channel under the video section, and you may want to give that a try, because I had a lot of fun doing the rubber stamps.
Check out mine on my channel too.
And Patrick's got his was the inspiration for me doing this in the first place. And on Patrick's video, he did a rubber stamp that was a 1/4 inch round on the fiber laser. If you can imagine that. I think he had a coffee shop, and they would need to stamp.
Yeah, I had the 1/4 inch dowel, and then I had the 2.5-inch dowel.
Yeah.
So my one stamp was like this big,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the other
yeah.
one was just like this.
But they have like a customer program where every time you buy a coffee, they stamp your card, and that's what he was making that stamp for. And 1/4 inch was I just thought that was amazing. You know how that fiber laser did such a detail. You could see the cup of coffee
Yep.
on the rubber stamp after he stamped it on the paper. So
Yep. It was the CO2 Galvo that did that,
yeah.
which is even more impressive because it's got a bigger dot.
Oh, I thought it was the fiber laser. Oh, okay. Well, that is incredible then on CO2. Yeah. All right, let's jump over. Yeah.
So V Swan says, with the build gift frame, I really like that you can dual purpose it with a photo, and it can stand up and show that photo. I bet people would put a birthday photo in there in the end, and that's my intent when I created this and why I did it with the stand. But the one thing, and I even in my video I talked about, you can do this to where it's a gift that keeps giving. If you think about it while you're at the birthday party and you pose the family members together and you position them and frame your photograph in a way so that in your mind's eye you know it's going to work within the frame of that piece, then you can have a really nice photo that's made for that. But it'd have to be done at a distance and kind of a panoramic kind of view.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to take a panoramic shot, but you would be far enough away that it would work in that frame.
And
So,
another thing I wanted to mention too was my next iteration of this. I'm only going to have one side open. I'm going to do a U shape, like Steve recommended it. I'm going to do a U shape spacer and have only one side open to take the bill in and out. That way, it fits perfectly.
But I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to do mine with the opening on the top.
Yeah. I have not done one on leather, but that's a good idea. I am planning to do a leather video with a wood stamp like this, where I'm going to wet the leather, put the wood stamp on it, and then clamp it together and emboss the leather. So
I made an embossing stamp. There was a question in one of the Facebook groups, and I said, "Have you ever considered the CO2 Galvo?" And they said no. So I used the same process on 1/2-inch acrylic, engraved it almost about a third of the way down, and then cut it out with the CO2 Galvo, and then just sandwiched a piece of leather, the scrap piece that I had, in between two metal plates, and that embossing stamp, and clamped it in the vise. And look, I took 5 minutes and made an embossing stamp.
Yep, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I have that video, some of it shot already. Someone was asking about the mixture of the tight bond and the CA glue. Yeah, Brandon, I put about 30 or 40 drops of the CA glue into one of those small bottles that I have, and I fill the rest with tight bond. Then I shake it up, and it does take about maybe a week or a week and a half, and I just shake it once every day before it all homogenizes, I guess is the word. But it does take about a week to do it. So when I get low, I'll do another bottle mixture, and I'll shake it, and a week will go by before it's ready to use.
Don't you love a clown?
Jim says we need to start over. Okay. Welcome to the Laser Maker's Realm, everybody. That's Steve, Hobo with Wood.
And that's Patrick.
and that's Rich. Oh, yeah, I got.
And that's as far as we're going to go. But yeah, everybody loves the clown.
Okay, let's see. Who would argue with the Axeman? Not many people, I don't think.
Yeah, stumbling, bumbling mentions it'd be nice to have. That's why we're both redoing it with a U shape instead of that way it doesn't slide in or out.
I don't have really an opinion on it, because I'm going to hand it to the person and they're going to see it, and then I'm going to tell them slide out the money, and who knows which way they're going to slide it.
Yeah.
So when they slide out the money, they're shocked to see the picture that I grabbed off of Facebook and put in there that they can change to whatever they want. So I'm happy with it both ways. I think I'm going to, for my future, birthdays that I go to when I make these, I'm going to put the U shape in there, and maybe I'll have the money go in from the top instead of from the side. That was also Steve's idea, but who knows? These things always go through 4, 5, or 6 iterations before we
You
actually.
should, you could mail me one of those to test out, and I'll let you know how well that money slides in and out.
Hey, Ian brings up a
I'll
good
test.
point. Ian says this is no good to make for the New Zealand dollars, as our money is all different sizes. And I didn't learn
What?
this until I started making this video. Australia is the same way.
Yeah.
And I addressed that in my video on my Hobo with Wood channel, where I show how to make this design from scratch.
Yep.
It's real simple. You can do this in your New Zealand dollars if you just go on Google and Google your dimensions of whichever denomination you're wanting to use.
Exactly.
And I promise you, the video, and it's, I tend to be long-winded. I don't know, Ian, if you watch many of my videos, but this one I think I actually did in less than 15, 20 minutes. Complete design of this, and you can do it with your New Zealand dollars.
Yeah.
So this file here won't work for you, but it is not hard to duplicate.
Okay, guys, I think I'm going to jump off of here,
Okay.
and if that's okay, and go ahead and start cleaning up some stuff. And
No problem.
yeah, I probably will be.
You're going to be axed.
Yeah, we're
Right
gonna
now.
ask, we're gonna
Yeah.
ask Patrick now.
But I like to keep a sharp mind and make witty comments, on the regular. So,
All right, Patrick. Well, thank you so much for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time out of your day.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your time up there and your little convention. And
I got it's pretty much over. I'm going to start packing some stuff up, finish up a couple of small engraves, and then I got the 8-hour hike back home.
Sounds good. Give me a call tomorrow.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks, guys.
Talk
We'll talk to you
soon.
later.
Bye, Patrick.
Travel safe.
All right, so we are going to get started now. If you want this guy right here without the, well, let me just do this. If you want this guy right here from me, handmade by me, then all you have to do is look down on the bottom of the screen right there. All you have to do is type that. I want it. What is that? It's not pound. It's pound for old people, and it's hashtag. For new people.
Yeah.
Okay. So pound, I want it. Hashtag, I want it. Pound for the older people. Fred's 78 years old, so he probably knows pound.
Pound. Yeah. I know pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hashtag, I want it, just like you see on the bottom of the screen there. Has to be exactly like that. Don't enter multiple times because it'll just exclude you. Multiple entries are not going to give you any greater chance. Right now, we've only got 50 people watching, so you have a really good chance of winning one of these, and I will get this out in the mail to you next week. What you see right here, this one is going to be one of them.
And while they're doing that, this one is, and they even say it's completely off topic, and and it's not even a clear enough question for me to know how to answer, but Malverde Designs has been around with us for a while, and I did not want them to think they were being ignored. I had a question off topic. When you guys take an SVG file into LightBurn and it's just black and white, do you go ahead and also do an outline or just engrave it like it is? So I don't really understand what your ultimate end game is. If it's solid black, it's in a fill mode.
Right.
If you put it in line mode, and it's just going to be the outline.
Right.
So if you wanted to email me or Rich, I'm hobowithwood@gmail.com. A little more detail about what you're trying to accomplish. I'll be glad to help you, because you have been with us for a while and did not want to think we were ignored. Yeah, I will happy to either he or I would be happy to address your question with a little better explanation of what your end game is there.
Now, the SVG is a vector graphic. It's part of the name. So if the person designed it to be in fill, you would leave it the way it is. You can't trace a vector. So you're either going to have to put that into line mode, or you're going to have to put it in fill mode. Either way, in your cut settings editor. So whichever way you design to burn it, when you set your layer, your cut layer, or your engrave layer, and your speed and power, is going to change the appearance of that vector graphic.
And if it's something that you're wanting to edit that SVG, you're going to need to do a trace anyway, right? Trace it.
No, you can edit an SVG just by putting it in just by selecting it and clicking on Node Edit.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Well, no, I was thinking about as far as even just deleting or adding to that.
The SVG is the same thing as if you took a primitive and drew a rectangle on the screen.
So it's just a matter of putting it in line mode and doing.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So yeah, if that doesn't help you any, Malverde, if you email either one of us, in fact, put where there's my email, Hobo with is that my email? Hobo with Wood, Steve, Hobo with Wood at Gmail should be on there. If it's not, we got to edit that banner too. But Hobo with Wood at gmail.com or Rich is what, the Louisiana Hobby Guy at gmail.com.
Yes, and Fred, that's not correct. It's all one word. It has to be no spaces. It has to be right. It has to be pound. I want it all one word, sir. Thank you guys for noticing that. I saw it in the comments.
All right, comments, questions.
Oh, come on, Sharon. Go ahead. You can enter.
Yeah, in fact, you need to, so we can really laugh when you win.
Yes,
you've
exactly.
got to enter. You have got to enter.
Exactly.
In fact,
hey, look, the more you're here, the more chances you're going to have to win whatever it is that we're giving away. So that's, one of the reasons that some people are here. So go ahead and do it. Put it in there.
Please do it so that when you win, I can really just that'd be great. If you enter and get this.
Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Sorry I couldn't make it to your stream yesterday. I had 2 birthdays yesterday, sir. And in fact, that was the topic of the beginning of this stream, was the 2 birthdays from yesterday. There you go.
And oh no, Carl, that was just a precursor to my anniversary show. Yeah, and for those that are not following, Father's Day, the 15th will be my anniversary, my first 1-year anniversary on YouTube that I started this laser adventure, and I am working on a video for a true anniversary celebration. So it's going to have a real kick in the butt ending. So you're going to want to watch for that.
Happy birthday, Jerry. I love the new logo, by the way. It looks great. And for those of you that are interested, it is my anniversary on YouTube as well. So it's my 2-year anniversary. I don't think I'm going to be doing an anniversary video, but I'm still having a great time, even after 2 years.
Now, did you start in May or June?
I started in May 2 years ago.
May? Okay.
Carl, I did not give anything away yet. We are still, if you put pound I want it into the comment section, you get a chance to win one of 3, excuse me, one of 3 of these. We have 34 people that have entered so far. Okay, let's see. Congratulations on your anniversaries. Thank you, V. That's for both of us. It's both of our channel anniversary this month.
And yes, Carl, you was a little premature. Hopefully that's one of the few times that anybody says that about you. But yes, it was a little premature, but it was greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated.
Uh-oh. No more coffee.
Uh-oh.
That must mean we're near the end of the stream. We are. We have 5 minutes left, folks. So, yes, Ian, this is U.S. only. The postage for me to send this out of the country is absolutely ridiculous. I did one a while back. Excuse me. and it cost me $28 to ship it to Canada. So that's a little more than I can afford. You know, we don't really make any money from doing all of this, so that's expenses.
But Ian's also, I think he's in New Zealand, so this wouldn't work with his currency anyway. So,
yes, that's true. You're right. Exactly. Yeah.
But like I said, go to Hobo with Wood or Hobo with Wood on YouTube, and my last video is the step-by-step creation of this file. It's really one of the easiest ones you can do.
Yeah, it really is too, and especially for redesigning it. You know that, and you know, think of in your country, what is the normal gift that you give? Do you normally give $20? Do you normally give $25? Whatever the case may be, and use that denomination size, so that you know you can save a template, and well, you know, you'll be able to do this over and over and over again. And then if it's a special occasion or a special person, a mother and a father, and you might want to change it to $100, it's very quick and easy to change the file to that size.
There's my wedding congratulations or anniversary with the wedding bands, and then congratulations with the diploma and the hat and tassel. So it's like you said, the possibilities are limitless.
I am still suffering with the frog in my throat, although it's gotten much better. You haven't heard me do it. The doctor gave me a new medication, and hopefully that's going to fix it. So let's see. We are 3 minutes from the end of the stream today. So let me jump over to the giveaway tool and get that up on the stream. There we go. So last couple seconds, that is what you type into the comment section.
And just for clarification, does the capitalization matter? Does it matter? Do you know?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't know. So do it all in lowercase.
Yeah. So S4G, do it one more time, all lowercase.
Yeah. Yep. I will do another live stream this week, a private one, and test it and see if it matters. I don't think it does, but you know, if you've done it the other way and doing it this way, even if you're doing it again, it doesn't matter because you'll only get one entry. So now keep in mind, you do have to be here now in order to win this. So anybody that's typed it and left is not going to get it because you have to send me an email. But let's go over there and let's do this now to the giveaway tool. I'm going to come down here, and we have 38 people, so 3 more in the last minute that have joined in. And I'm going to hit draw, and we're going to give away the first one right now. Get my pen.
There's Sharon's name.
I saw it.
She's in there, but no.
Steve Springer. Congratulations, Steve.
I got my fingers crossed for you, Sharon, just for the laugh
just for the fun of it, right?
Just for the laugh of it. Yep.
Okay, so we are going to do the second one now.
In fact, if she gets it, I'm going to ask her to go buy me a lottery ticket.
Jack in the shop.
Hey, redneck.
Congratulations, Jack. And I love that logo too. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to now do the third and final drawing, and I'm going to tell you how to get this in a moment. Here we go. There's our drum roll. Worst drum roll on the internet. Rick Nash.
Rick.
Congratulations, Rick. Okay, so let's get rid of that.
So that at least proves that Sharon doesn't have an inside track on anything.
Yep. Hang on one second. I am putting a email address in the comment section, and that is my email address. So Steve Springer, I already have your information. You don't have to worry about it. Jack in the Shop and Rick Nash, you need to send me an email at that email address, the LA Hobby Guy at gmail.com. And you have to send me your full name, your mailing address and zip code, and I will get that out to you during this upcoming week, probably even sooner because I've already got 2 made. So I only need to make 1 more. So
Carl says Rick's a newbie. So, hey, welcome and congratulations.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome aboard, Rick. And the thing is that you need to email me within the next 48 hours in order for this to work, because I get like 150 or more emails a day. So, if you're, make sure you put in the subject line, I won or something like that. I want it, whatever you want where I can see that it's part of the contest. And I will pack this up and get it out to you lickety split. So we are at exactly 90 minutes now in the stream. And I think that's going to be about it for today. Steve, you have any final thoughts?
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. Let's get out of here and go get ourselves some lunch and relax for the rest of the day. I will upload this stream to the channel as soon as I can. And I want to thank you all today for being here, for watching, especially the repeat people, that come here every week. Thank you so much for the support. Remember to share the video with your friends, like the video, comment on it so that we get more reputation with YouTube and they push the videos out and we get more subscribers. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks with more fun projects to do.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.